Well, you know, one of the big things about the Hedera Council is its absolute stunning list of companies that are involved on the Hedera Council running nodes and keeping the Hedera chain running. Not a chain, I know, DLT. Keeping it running, which is awesome. And one of the things, you know, I think a lot of people were asking about expansion because, you know, one of the things that you want to see is more people running nodes. Now, we're not quite there, but Hedera made a huge announcement this week around new partnerships that it's growing, and we don't know who they are yet, but we know the structure. So let's dive into this because I think this is pretty interesting and worth knowing. This is right from Hedera, and so as the Hedera network continues to evolve, collaboration and shared innovation remain at its core. To expand participation and accelerate decentralized growth, Hedera Council has launched a new partnership program featuring strategic partners and community partners. While the Hedera Council continues to govern the Hedera network, operate its nodes, and approve technology upgrades, those new categories provide opportunities for organizations to engage, innovate, and grow within the ecosystem. So I think it's worth looking at more about what this means, but I want to highlight something here. They talk about running its nodes. I definitely think that Hedera needs to expand this. When you talk about decentralization, you want as many people securing the network as possible. So we need more node runners outside of this handful of companies running it for true decentralization. But I think this is a good start. So let's see what these mean. Hedera Council expands global engagement new partnership. Okay, here we go. Introducing 2 new partnership categories to broaden participation in the Hedera ecosystem. Hedera Council is introducing 2 new partnership categories: strategic partners and community partners. This partnership program enables organizations of all sizes to engage with the network and contribute to its long-term success through collaboration with global leaders across the Hedera ecosystem. Both partnership categories provide meaningful ways to engage with the Hedera ecosystem without requiring formal council membership. So there's going to be about 45 Hedera Council strategic partners. They're thinking like fintechs, enterprises, enterprise service providers, and industry associations. And they're looking at organizations with high value, use case, strong strategic alignment, like AI, tokenization, and supply chain, sustainability, identity, all stuff that we've seen, all use cases that we've kind of seen with Hedera already. And they get access to working group workshops and Hedera Council open sessions, technical support for use case development, networking with council members and industry leaders, marketing and co-branded opportunities such as case study development, grant application support, preferential invitations to Hedera events, and promotional features on Hedera Council. I think the big thing here, networking with council members, because we're talking like Google, IBM, LG, like some of the biggest brands in the world. So if you're a crypto company, like a small crypto startup, and you get to like partner with some of these folks and like maybe get some opportunities there for some of these big companies, like that's a pretty big deal if you ask me. And then the other one is Hedera Council community partners. They're thinking 50 plus. I don't know, you know, who knows what the plus means, right? Now we're looking at like startups, system integrators, advocacy and community organizations. Projects or eligibility are projects or partners with active use cases or strategic relevance in areas such as AI, tokenization, sustainability, and identity. So it's kind of the same, but smaller. So I guess these are like bigger organizations, and maybe these are smaller ones actually. The benefits were access to working groups and ongoing ecosystem support, networking with council members and industry leaders. So same thing applies. Looks pretty similar, just maybe not quite as many things. I don't get that preferential invitations to Hedera hosted events. As you can see, most of the benefits still accrue to Hedera Council members, but I really like to see, it'd be cool if they took, I don't think, oh yeah, running node. Yeah, they should run nodes. All of these guys should be able to run nodes to start with. That'd be great. I think you need to expand that out. So anyway, that's the Hedera Council's new partnerships, which I think is cool. And what else we got? I thought this was kind of neat. It's from Genzio Media and Marketing. The trust layer of digital economy isn't just a vision, it's already live. Here's how global organizations are building real-world solutions on Hedera. So we got Aberdeen, exploring tokenization and traditional finance. I think that's been around a while. Archax and LBG Place, tokenized money market funds and UK gov bonds as FX collateral. That's pretty cool. Payments and stable coins. You got Shinhan Bank, Standard Bank, SCB TechX, and Australia Payments Plus are using Hedera to modernize cross-border payments. That's a huge use case. AI integrity, verifiable compute with Equity Lab, Accenture, Hedera Foundation, advancing AI model transparencies, partnering with NVIDIA and Intel for hardware level verification. Dude, again, that is a huge partnership. I know NVIDIA took a bath lately, but that's still huge. Let's see, sustainable and ESG data. We're going to actually talk about that a little bit more, but I know a lot of people don't like ESG. We'll get to that. We got another segment coming a little more dedicated to that. Digital trust and infrastructure, Neuron World, IoT DPIN infrastructure for machine-to-machine communication. Depending on what this is, this can be cool, but I'll tell you what, I don't want my washer and dryer going on the internet. They don't need to be there. So I'm just not generally excited about that category very much. I know there's a lot beyond that, but yeah, my refrigerator can stay off YouTube. That's fine. Consumer engagement and loyalty, Mondelez International plus SKUX, transforming loyalty, redemption, and supply chain transparency. It's kind of a cool little thing there. Neat. Yeah, so a whole lot of stuff going on in Hedera. If you're a fan of Hedera, you should be really excited about that. Now here's speaking of ESG, and we're going to talk about this a little bit. PwC has partnered with the Hashgraph Group to launch Hedera-powered ESG solutions for global enterprises. From an ESG standpoint, PwC advises thousands of companies worldwide across regulatory compliance, sustainability reporting, and climate change strategy, including strict disclosure frameworks in the EU, UK, and other major jurisdictions. Now their new EcoGuard platform brings that expertise on chain, anchoring carbon credits, renewable energy certificates, and real-time sustainability data directly to Hedera. This delivers verifiable, tamper-proof ESG reporting aligned with global standards and built for enterprise scale. Now listen, you might not like ESG, I know there's a lot of controversy and debates around it. I get it. But you know what? If you're a company, you got to comply with it, whether you like it or not. That's the rules. You got to follow the rules. So Hedera partnering with PwC to bring that information to people in real time on chain. I know we talk about on chain. It's it's a DLT, blah blah blah. On Ledger, I suppose would be the right thing, but you get the idea. This allows you to comply with that. It's a enterprise solution for businesses to comply with ESG, and that's really important. I mean, that's solving a real world problem, and that's why I like Algorand. That's why I like Hedera, because I feel like the stuff that's being built on it is doing real world stuff. I'm really starting to like what I'm seeing from Hedera, especially lately. I thought this was interesting too. Let's look at right from Tata. This chart normalizes inflows by max token supply, showing which ETFs saw the fastest relative accumulation pressure from institutional demands. And after 10 days between IBIT, BSOL, and HBAR, HBAR way up at 0.8%, almost 1% of the whole supply. Very impressive. Actually, the max token supply, which is pretty cool. So I think this is really neat. I thought like I said, I did not think that I told you guys this earlier, I didn't think the HBAR ETF was going to do that well. Absolutely crushing it. Totally wrong. And it just keeps growing. They also have, let's see. Yeah, I mean, you can just see the supply percentage way up. Kind of holding steady. That's kind of interesting. Anyway, I thought that was worth sharing because I've been a pretty big fan of how that's been doing. like I said, total supply. I didn't think the market was ready for something that far down the market cap table. I thought they were just getting used to Algorand to Ethereum and Bitcoin. But yeah, the market's pretty much embraced it to some degree, at least. Pretty strong degree, I would say. Two more things here I want to share. In this one, Wrap Bitcoin, the industry's leading tokenized form of Bitcoin, is now live on institutional grade Hedera network. Boy, I'm really running out of ability to talk here. The integration was made possible in collaboration with Hedera Council member BitGo, alongside industry leading teams Bit Global Trust and Layer 0 Core. With over 126,000 Bitcoin in custody and a 13 billion market cap and 65% market share of tokenized Bitcoin on Ethereum, Wrap Bitcoin is the industry benchmark for Bitcoin utility across assets. Bridging live on Stargate Finance, and the first pools for WBTC are now live on Saucer Swap, the leading DEX for Hedera by trading volume. Yeah, so, you know, if you want to keep, I actually keep a lot of my Ethereum on Algorand, and I like it that way. I just feel like it's easier to use. And so you can do that with Bitcoin on Hedera. Very cool. Sean Vogel says he's holding strong. I don't know if you're referring to Hedera during our Hedera segment or Algorand, but I'll probably referring to the chat message, actually. And then the last thing I want to cover here is HGraph Beta MCP server now live. The entire Hedera network now at your fingertips inside popular AI apps like ChatGPT and Claude. Here's everything you need to get access. So they kind of explain, again, remember how I talk about, guys, you got to explain stuff? Thank you, Hedera, or thank you, HGraph, I guess I should say. Explaining what an MCP server is, it is a model context protocol, which is a popular open source standard for connecting AI apps to external tools like Google Calendar, GitHub, and Notion. It's the USB port of artificial intelligence. That's a really awesome way to put that, by the way. Nice job, guys. Nice job. And, you know, so basically this is like the protocol that allows agents to do agent work. So instead of just having, you know, your chat say, yeah, do this, do that, it actually allows artificial intelligence to go out in the world and do real things, you know, fiddle with your calendar, do stuff on GitHub, you know, book an appointment, something like that. When you connect the HGraph MCP server to an AI app like ChatGPT or Claude, it gives the LLM a set of specialized tools it can use to fetch any on-chain Hedera data that you ask about. A magical network explorer. That is really cool. Just imagine what you could do. You could do stuff with your own app. You could figure out your taxes on there if you wanted to. There's a lot of stuff you can do. So this is worth reading. I'm not going to read this whole thing here, but I don't know if you guys are playing around with this stuff. Look, there's a little toggle. Hit the HGraph toggle, and boom, there you are. What is the account balance of account 0.0.800? And then it will tell you. Yeah, I think that's a really positive development for Hedera. So anyway, that's all I got for Hedera this week. I could have added, yep, nope, that's it. That was the whole thing. And yeah, I'm obviously we're in a down market as I record this, but hey, you know, things turn around, and I really think Hedera is going to be one of the long-term players in this space. So keep an eye out.